Hi, I'm Bjorn, movie archaeologist, and welcome back to the Temple of Movie Reviews. I was doing some digging with my digging shovel and my digging brush and my digging pail, which I used to put the dirt, which I have dug with my digging shovel, into. And look what I found. It's an artifact. It's something Ballad, Songbird, Snakes, Ballad, Hunger Games. It's Hunger Games the prequel. It's Hunger Games the prequel. And I was surprised and also disappointed by this movie at the same time. Let me explain. This artifact was intriguing because it had a really strong 3/4, 5/8. I'm basically just past the 30-minute mark, past the halfway point of the movie. It's really good stuff, really interesting. And then the last 45 minutes, the last 30 minutes, a huge mess. And I think that boils down to there are two subplots in this movie. One that's good and one that's stinky. And for about half the movie, that stinky one is covered up by the really good one. And then they completely dump the really good subplot and are left with only the stinky. Only the stinky is left behind. So you might be wondering, well, Bjorn, what the fuck does that even mean? What are you talking about? What are you even getting at? So there are mild spoilers for the Hunger Games movie, very mild. This movie is about President Snow, the evil dictator from the first movie, when he's a wee little lad, and he is tasked with becoming a sponsor for a contestant in their 10th Hunger Games. Now, this is before the Hunger Games are a huge spectacle. It's literally just like a WWE Raw cage match with a bunch of kids, kind of based. And he's supposed to, make the show more entertaining because they're not getting good ratings. And so he starts suggesting a bunch of ideas on how to maybe improve the Hunger Games to make it more enjoyable to the viewers. And he basically winds up kind of making a reality TV show out of it that's helping to forge what we know. And the movie asks a bunch of actually pretty interesting moral questions. There's some pretty good character work here. And there's also a romantic plot also in this movie. And that is just absolutely does not work. And when the movie solely focuses in basically on the romantic plot, the whole movie kind of falls apart. And I get it. It's a Hunger Games movie. They're supposed to be for tweens, like girls, and they like stinky kissing and gross stuff like that. But that could have worked, and it just doesn't. And I think part of the reason it might not work is the lead actress, Rachel Ziegler. Now look, this is a contentious character, right? I'm aware of the Snow White drama. I think it's kind of hilarious that people are upset about it because I wasn't going to see the Snow White movie anyway. These Disney live-action remakes always suck. I don't know why we're surprised that they suck now. But yeah, she was saying some stupid stuff she probably shouldn't have. But whatever, man. Who cares? So I wasn't going to judge her based on that drama. I think that's all pretty stupid. But she's not good in this movie. I actually just didn't find her believable at all. I thought her character was at some points very down to earth, and at other points like basically a cartoon character, like how they imagine a southern person would be, but like it's completely ridiculous. I don't know. I didn't find her very believable or relatable or even endearing necessarily in the movie. And it was not as bad in the first half because she's in the Hunger Games and there's all this drama and it's brutality and she's barely talking because she's running from weapons and whatnot, and that was like, all right, I'm buying this. This is okay. She's in a cave. She's in a stressful situation, and you've got her basically Snow being her PR manager, trying to get her to deliver a successful YouTuber apology. And honestly, that stuff is all very engaging. It bizarrely, I found the PR angle, like the how do you call it? That sort of like origin of the reality show aspects of the Hunger Games to be the most interesting part of the movie. The actual Hunger Games stuff, there's some cool stuff there, I guess. But I found all that stuff to be what was easily what won me over to the movie. And then that stuff is over and there's a new subplot, and it felt like two movies kind of jammed together, and one was really good and the other one was pretty bad, honestly. I'm going to get into spoilers. If you haven't seen this, I actually kind of recommend it. Maybe just walk out of the theater. You'll know right around what I'm talking about. Walk out of the theater, go next door and watch the after credit scene for the Marvels, and then come back in and watch the last 10 minutes of Songbirds, and you'll get the picture. So yeah, so Rachel Zegler's character and Snow, they have like this like whirlwind love story that I guess it was built up. I just didn't believe it. They had no chemistry together really, and they're like, oh, we are so madly in love. We so madly love each other. We're gonna go frolic together by the lake. Oh, we kissed one time. And then they some drama happens, and they're in the cabin. They're gonna run away together, right? And then I don't know what happened. President Snow did a heel turn, like literally out of nowhere. Like he'd been like mostly the good guy. He'd done some morally questionable things. Mostly it felt like it was either on accident or in a moment of weakness, and he was repentful. And then he's like running around with a gun trying to shoot Rachel Zegler, and it comes out of nowhere. And then you've got Rachel Zegler, before he's even running around with the gun, she gets like a poison snake and puts it in his mother's scarf to trick him into getting bit by a snake. I don't understand why they were fighting. I think it was something to do with President Snow was going to leave her, and she was going to be stuck going to Canada or whatever she was going to by herself. And I have to say that is really, really silly for a bunch of reasons. But I think the most obvious one being like, okay, so he's going to leave you and that upsets you. Why are you then trying to poison him with a poison snake? Because that's what I interpreted the scene as. Like, there was so much going on, I couldn't even interpret, and none of it really made sense. Like, oh, we got a dog interruption. Oh my god, dog. 2 dogs. That's 2 more dogs than I needed in this shot. Okay. And I don't know, ultimately that scene didn't work for me. I found myself very confused by that whole 15-minute chunk of President Snow shooting at Rachel Zegler in the woods for no reason, and then just wandering off, and he's like, well, okay, I guess I'm evil President Snow now. I'm going to go poison Peter Dinklage in a scene which, you know, really did work. The poison scene really did. The poison scene really did work. That monologue Peter Dinklage gives about, you know, how he's miserable because he invented the Hunger Games really works. Unfortunately, I just didn't think Rachel Zegler's character worked. Viola Davis's character, a little hammy. I kind of enjoyed the ham. I've always been a purveyor of ham and ham-adjacent things. I'll always enjoy a good ham sandwich. So I enjoyed her performance here. The Hunger Games stuff, it's all good. I don't know. It's just that romantic subplot, and specifically the Ziegler character in the second half of the movie, just it didn't work. It didn't work at all. It was confusing, and I didn't understand anyone's character motivations. So I recommend this movie up to that point, because before that, again, it's all very interesting. There's some really interesting moral questions. I actually thought the movie, around the halfway point of the movie, I was thinking, wow, this is better than the original movies as far as I remember. This is really good, and then I got bored and wanted to take a nap. But up until that point, it was good. So I'm going to give this one, it's kind of hard to rank, 7 out of 10, I guess. But like, the first chunk of this movie is a solid 8 out of 10. So I don't know. It's a hard one to rank. Maybe let's do 7.5. We'll split the difference. Let's do 7.5. This could have been a lot worse. There's some really interesting ideas here, some cool cinematography, some acting that misses, and a subplot and finale that just kind of falls apart. I don't know how this was test screened and people weren't confused. They probably were, because I'm a smart man and I was wildly confused by the last 15 minutes of this movie. So make of that what you will. I've been Bjorn. If you enjoyed this review, sub for more. Let me know what you thought of the movie. If you understood that 15-minute chunk and what led to the character motivations to just spontaneously to have them all turn against each other and try to poison each other with snakes and shoot each other with guns, let me know in the comments, please. If you're looking for something else to watch, I'm writing a Thunderbolts movie here, and I have other advanced screening adventures here. Y'all can check those out. I will be back whenever there's something else, a new artifact to review. I'm going to just keep digging in my temple with my patented digging shovel. Alright, I'll see you all in the next one.